Okay, see if our camera is adjusted. That's perfect. We're into the yellow today. Take away this pencil. Maybe I'll have to sharpen it a little bit. See if I can get a little pencil working here. I like that. This electric sharpener seems to work as long as there's food in the stomach, lively food. Here's one pencil. We're going to explain how I see the 8 and the 9 card. Okay, let's assume this is the same as this 8 card. Okay, in the 8 card, as like the 2 card, in the 2 card you have the point over here and you have the point over here in the 2 card. Okay, now if you take a look at these lines, okay, I can put these lines in the half area over here, in which will show me, okay, this is very hard to explain unless you can follow what I'm talking about. I can create the O or I can create the X. The X is going to show me 4 corners. The diamond O in between, or what links the diamond to the next area, okay, is going to show me the center area. I'm at the top, I'm at the bottom, I'm in the center. Now if I want to run this as an X, the same formation as this here, what I will do is I will create this formation, the X formation. Then I'll create the X formation here. And because I'm creating X over O, I end up with 4 areas. So let me show you that again. Here's my O. I can't create my X this way. It becomes a plus. And I end up with 1/4 and 1/4 on the outside, 1/4 on the inside. Out of the 4 boxes, these 4 create 2. These 4 create 2. But everything is run in the 1/8. This is accumulated and understood as 1/8. If I create it this way, okay, and the reason I have to go right through is because it does not end. There's no ending, there's no center. I always have to find an end point, because that's an obligation in space. If you're going from one area to the next, we're assuming that this is in space, and I have to connect it. You don't see the spider stop in the middle. He goes down, throws out a web, pulls himself to the side, and creates that space. When you create in that space, instead of having these, you now have areas here. And now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 diamonds instead of 4 triangles. Pretty weird, eh? Pretty weird. And then you have W, W, W. You don't need all your W's. Once you get this W, if you're going in this direction. Anyways, we don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. There's so many things. I didn't want to talk about this either. You know what this is? If I was going this way, in that direction, this arm will lift up. I'll end up on this side. This arm will go down. I'll be able to go all the way around. I won't be able to get out. This angle, and this angle shows me I can push my way in, and the angle will close. I can no longer get out, like a trap. So the arrow, if you don't go with the arrow and you go against the arrow, you're in the trap. If you go with the arrow, you keep hanging out behind the arrow. So what we're going to continue to say is, if we're creating the 8 card, okay, this area over here and this area over here is going to be used in the 8 card. Okay, and at the same time we're going to be using these area in the 8 card, and we're going to use this area in the 8 card. Right? Now just give me a second. Now am I right or am I wrong? I think that I'm wrong. I think that there's a closer relationship with the 8, and I think the dots of the 8 belong over here. Okay, now someone might be asking, but who cares? Because I'm looking for pinpoint and creation. For half spaces, okay, there's half spaces and whole areas. Quarter, half, 3/4, and whole. Nothing else breaks down properly in calculations, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to see if I get to the calculation. When we bring the calculation to the 5 calculation, if I divide 1 by 5, or a half equals to 2. 2 halves create 1. 4 halves create 2. 6 halves create 3, 8 creates 4, 10 creates 5, 12 creates 6, etc. In which in numerological value, I will give all different kinds of values to here. This is equal to 1/2, this is equal to 1/2. They're all equivalent to 1/2. 9 and 9, 8 and 7 gateway, 7 and 5 moon, 3 and 6 rotation all the way around, 360 degrees if you want. 1 in between 2. 6 is the half-life. So if 6 is the half-life, you would actually be going, if you would be looking at 6 as the half-life, you would actually be going like that. And then the other half-life would be going like that. And that 6 is the half-life. It's an obligation going around the eye, because you do know that the greatest diameters are the 4 corners, telling me this is the half-life. If you would be dividing by 2, 1 gets 5, 2 gets 1. Divided by 2, how many 2's go into here? 15 2's go into here, 20 2's go into here, 25 go into here, 30 go into here. But the basis is 5, skip 1, 15, skip 1, 25, skip 1, 35. This one will create the sun. This one will create the energy. 7th gate energy. E world, Earth. Creation in Mars. When you have area space, 8 and 4, Pluto, you have numeric value 4. 3 is creation. 57, we have moon over here. 5 and 7, we're back to the moon. 5 2 5. And this is part of what they call the Mayan cycle, because there's other numbers that equate to the same thing in the Mayan cycle. If we would be calculating 3, 3 would only go perfectly into 3 6 9 as 1 2 3 A B C. And 1 and 2 is all creation. This is where it must stem from, right over here. And the reason it must stem from over here is because 1 is in between 2. 1 is in between 2. 1 is in between 2. It's just a fact. In the 3 card, 1 is in between 2. 1 is also in between 5, which makes it 1 in between 2 just the same. When you calculate 4, 4 into 1, 2.5. 4 into 2, 5. 4 into 3, 7.5, back to creation and moon. This one will be relative to time, Earth, and Mars, 3rd and 4th planet. 3rd and 4th planet. I always like to use my planets, okay? I change one also for the soul, or the soul and spirit. The 19 is the number for the spirit. It's also a number that goes into the moon. 3 by 19 is 57. 3 by 25 is 75. 57, 75 runs through the moon. 19, 25, Earth and moon. Spirit and gateway stand on 17. 512 memory, 4 by 1.25 equals 5. 4 pi 1.5. Memory into Mars equates to, again, the energy, or the 1 passing through the moon. The matrix, the gateway. 4 into 8 is 2. The B world, 2 worlds. Here we get life. This is full rotation, 225. 45 and 45 and 45 and 45 and 45, 225. It's also noted as the area where 666 fits in. The chicken leg, 234, 225, 216. It's, when you make a circle in this area, it encompasses both 234 vibration all the way to 216 vibration. That's that area over here. And it doesn't matter on which point I hit it. The 6 is a divisible of 6, 12, and 18, which is 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 8, 9. The 7 is divided by 7, 14, and 21. And then eventually 28. So cycle of the moon is your DNA gateway in the cube. It also says running under the gun, because G, 7th letter, U, 21st letter, and N, 14th letter. I make them big because there is no small where there's a divisible by 7. The 8 is now divisible by 2. The 8 is divisible by 4. Or we can go 8 by 2.5, 16, 20. 8 by 5, 4. 8 by 1.75 equals 6. 6 divided by 8, 1.75. Is that right? I think I got this wrong. 7, 5, and 7. This will be 4. No, that'll be 12. That'll be 6. I think I got that wrong. I got to recalculate this. But 8 and the 8 goes 1. I think I got it right. Give me a second to calculate. Okay, it was actually it's 8 times 0.2 8 times 0.5, 8 times 0.75. So again, 8 and 6, which is the division of the 7th gate, and it shows me the numeric value for the moon. 8 and 4 is Pluto, which shows me 5 and 4 through the sun. 8 and 2, which is the cycle of the moon, shows me the numeric value for Earth. So I just use these in different combinations together, whether I use this as a quarter or not. Did you follow where I'm going with this entire deal? Now, I didn't finish with the 9 card or the relativity for the 8 card, in which I should do this right over here, which is, we can do it this way. By creating a single X, right, we find the center spot right over here. 1 in the center of 4. I cannot do the areas over here because there's no stopping space. So when I use 2 areas, okay, I now can have a stopping space or a center over here. Another thing I wanted to mention, and I won't be able to do in this video because this video is too short, is the half space, how to receive the half space. And to receive the half space is to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I can go by 3, right? But to find the perfect triangle, I must go 4 spaces by 2 spaces, stretch my X, and then this area space over here will create this. Or I can do it this way, upside down, 2 areas, and I'll get the same equation. Over here, I can have 2 areas and create that same equation over here, or the reverse equation where it gets captured right down here in the center. Same one as over here, going by 4, 4 by 4. I do it 2 by 2 in this area. Raphael, 7286, in a constellation of Pegasus. I don't want to say, but sometimes I feel like I'm not explaining myself properly. And this is the 9 lives of the cat when it's set up this way. Because if you take a look over here, you get tic-tac-toe. And when you do that, you get 4 individual areas. Can you see it? Let me see if I can take this all the way down and show you. See the way the line goes all the way in? So this space inside, where the 5 area is also a part of the space on the outside. So it creates 2 triangles that both are part of the center. So we get a part of the center here, part of the center here, part of the center here, part of the center here. None of the center here, but part of these 2 sides. Since this is part of these 2 sides, it now has part of this side here. Anyways, it's all confusing. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching this video.